All right, we are live. Back with that, some cheese. It's been a while. Haven't recorded an episode in a while, but we have a lot of things to talk about today. A lot of things that have happened. So, Jackson Law is here. Jackson, what's going on? How are you?
Nothing much. And we tried to record
Yeah.
an episode a week ago.
Yeah.
But we all know how my internet is. It's well known within the company how bad
it's not
my
great.
Internet is. It's not great.
I'm going to try to do the shows more regular once fall gets around, but it's been a busy summer. We're setting everything up for the fall, and we have a lot of things to talk about. First and foremost, we're monetized on YouTube now, so that's cool.
It is big news.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple videos that have done fairly well. Like
Sure.
it's not like, oh my gosh, I can quit my real job and do this full time type money, but we got paid for YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I got two videos that have done really well. Got almost 10K views between like each almost. Like one's at like 7 and one's at 12.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I just wanted to point that out for the viewer. Yes, the main channel is being more active because we are now monetized on there.
Yeah, and we got plans. We're working with the GOAT, Sophie, the one that kind of helped shove us in this direction that we've been going.
Yeah,
she's kind of the one that started us down this path of getting here with the Maximum Football series. So we're working closely with her. Going to get something good up.
So those other channels, we should still be dropping some content on there. The Daily Show is still on the podcast channel, and the gaming channel hopefully will be more active with some cool shorts on there soon. Item number 2, Jackson Law, we have a new deal.
We do.
Yeah, Vendetta Sports Media can now be found on the Newsbreak app. The Newsbreak app has over 50 million users, so we now have more outreach than ever. Jackson, I don't know if you have any comments or where you want to start with this, but I kind of put out my press release, so the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge for us because, like you said, it's 50 million sets of eyes that could potentially be on our content.
How are the views looking so far?
They're great. Like, I mean, it's public knowledge, so you can go to our profile on the Newsbreak app.
Yeah, follow the profile is what.
Yeah, definitely go do that. Look us up. But it's like over 20,000 views a day is what we're averaging, and we've been on it for not even a full 3 days. Like once everything got up, and I would say that our content production hasn't been like what it could be.
Oh no, I don't.
Those days, so. like yesterday, I just had a ton of free time early in the morning, and I knew how important like getting eyes.
During the old days, you would have had Survivor.
Oh yeah. I outposted the group. Oh, we might have to bring that back.
I know.
We might have to with how everything is going now.
I was thinking of because apparently I don't know if like so the ad deal that we have for the site, there's like author metrics, and this one doesn't have it. So I'm like, hey guys, look. Maybe if Survivor has to come back to where you guys figure out your share for all this Newsbreak stuff. I don't know. Just saying.
Yeah. So you can look up and see like what has done like the most damage, like what's gotten the most views, but I guess you could just be like, oh, this is the author that wrote that. This is how much it did. And we could figure it out that way or whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah. It's going to be more of a pain in the ass, but
it is. And with the whole, like, it's like going to be a while before, because of the deal. For those that don't know how it works, it's like the payments come out further down the line,
60 days after.
Yeah. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So I think people are excited. I don't know. What do you think the reaction from the group was?
I mean, obviously, like the people that were excited about it, I expected, like I saw them get excited about it. Chick obviously super excited. Like the people that have been here the longest were probably some of the most excited, because it's like we've been working on this for years to get to this point, and we're finally now to this point. So it's more just our hard work paying off, grinding. I joined back in late 2019. It's 2023 now. It's almost 4 years now that I've been here. And so now it's, 4 years later, the previous years of work are paying off, and before that too. A lot of people don't know that you and I know each other from before Vendetta.
I mean, I could add this as the topic, but so I think we need to try to add some writers. I was looking around at, some potential names that we could add. I stumbled upon that Penguin site.
Oh,
It is ugly.
Oh, it's bad. I've gone back to check occasionally too.
Ugly. I think they have like 1 or 2 people that write about sports in general.
Which they started out more as like fashion, didn't they?
I guess.
In lifestyle. I know their NBA page
it's dead.
Pretty big. Their NBA page is dead.
Dead.
I haven't checked it in a while. That's crazy because it's like they had like a significant following.
There's only like 1 real active writer, and there was like a 4-day stretch where nothing was published.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Man, I don't know what to say about that. That's crazy. What do you think would happen if there was a 4-day stretch? Would you fire everybody if there was a 4-day stretch here? Just like everyone gone.
Yep. Probably.
I wouldn't put it past you.
Yeah, so the Newsbreak deal is done. Please go follow our profile, because the more people that follow our profile, our stories get pushed up the feed. So also download the Newsbreak app. It's a nice little app. I think people that have downloaded it from our site like it.
It's cool. I get national news. I get local news. I see our stuff on there. So it's everything that I need right in one.
Yeah, it's got the weather. It's got local updates. Got everything. So download that if you haven't already. We should also maybe have a couple more of these news aggregator deals done soon. So we'll keep you updated on that. But the most important thing is the outreach is more than ever. And once we drop this product that is under wraps, it's going to be real game changer.
Secret project. This is our Manhattan project, because we're going to be dropping nukes on the industry.
Yeah.
I watched Oppenheimer yesterday, so
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, fantastic. 10 out of 10.
Okay. Have you seen Barbie? I haven't seen that yet either.
I haven't seen Barbie. I could only see one this week.
Okay.
And, being the history guy and history teacher that I am, I had to go see Oppenheimer.
I'm looking forward to the Napoleon movie.
Oh, me too, dude. It's going to be so great.
Next thing on the list. So I thought the craziest part of the new deal is, I think 8 hours after I announced the new deal, we lost our WWE section.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the timing of it. Like, we announced this new deal. You guys have more opportunities than ever. Like, you got the site page as revenue opportunity. You got the Newsbreak page as revenue opportunity. And apparently that was not good enough for Mark Izzo and Dylan O'Brien, because they are out.
Crazy. Lacey Chabert.
I couldn't believe it.
It's... I don't understand putting in all the work.
Me neither.
To get to this point, and then you get to this point. Like, I understand wanting like guaranteed and full time, but it's like, this is the next step to that. Like, the next step after this is that.
Yes.
Is like, okay, we've got the eyes, we've got the revenue. You've been making revenue up until this point. It's maybe not as much as, or like as consistent as you want it to be. But that's the next step. We're at the step before the final step.
Yeah, I think what also needs to be said is, like, this is a little bit like the movie industry. Like, your top stars make this, and everybody else makes this.
Yeah.
But until you prove that you are like DiCaprio, you're not really gonna make it like that much. So you should want to attach yourself to something like this. And the craziest part to me, there's no fallback option. He didn't sign with another media company. He's only going to do that Burning Hammer show, and that's it. Like, he didn't sign on with another thing. And actually, we tried to get him another job with a like one of those pro wrestling sites, just so that he would have another chance to make money on top of the. Like, his author page was already over $100, which for someone that's 22 getting into this business, just starting out, that's not bad.
No.
So we tried to get him work with Sportskeeda and the Wrestling Inc. and all those other wrestling pages. They didn't hire him. He left anyway.
I don't understand people sometimes.
Me neither.
I really don't. And,
like,
and I hate that. And
you want to say Trey's a dickhead, fine. But I literally tried to help him get another job at another website. And who the fuck would do that?
So let me ask you this question too. Would you have, so he fails to find a job at another site.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, I've come to my senses. There's nothing else out there for me. Is it okay for me to stay on? Would you have let him?
No.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, no, I get that. I was just curious.
The most important thing at this company, regardless of how much money we're making, will always be, will you run through a brick wall for this company? And if your heart is not in it, I don't want you.
That's fair. I agree.
I just thought I had to add that in, that one day, not even like 8 hours after the announcement of Newsbreak, gone.
It's just the opportunity.
With no backup plan
is there. And then, it's like someone like me, for instance, I'm competing with a bunch of other people on the site because I'm writing about NFL, NBA. We have quite a few other NBA, NFL writers, you included, who put in the most work. So I'm technically competing with you for views as well.
You're competing and not competing at the same time, because your link back should all help each other.
Yeah, no. What I'm meaning though is like, there's a news post that comes up that's going to do really well. If I don't get to it, someone else does. That's what I'm thinking in my mind.
Okay.
It's not like, oh man, screw that guy. He took that and he took money out of my pocket. I'm going to hate him now. I'm not meaning that. I'm just meaning like, someone grabs a story before I'm able to get to it. It needs to be done anyway. I'm happy someone could do it. I couldn't do it. That's fine. But him, the comparison is him. There's literally no one else in WWE. He was the WWE section for us. He didn't have to compete with anyone else for ideas, for views or anything.
No, in fact, he had it fucking made to the point where Max said he was the lead of the channel. When the new product drops, he's running the WWE section for it. He's in charge of, any writers that come in, they report to him. He decides what content goes out, which content he's taking, what content other people are taking. So his hits were doing really well because he was picking the stories that were going to get hits.
Yeah.
Still gone.
I don't get it.
I don't either. And the craziest part about it is, Trey, I can't just leave the WWE section unattended. I don't even care about the WWE section. I just have to make sure I'm better than him. So our replacement that I think we have found, that I am meeting with on Monday, this post should be out by then, but I think our replacement should be better. So
yeah, you showed me his profile, and wow.
That's the thing about Trey. Like, I'm a vindictive son of a bitch. I would have left the WWE section unattended, but now I have to make sure we beat whatever he did.
Yeah.
So
easy.
I think that new hire should do very, very well. In fact, I think I can say this without saying it. The person that will take Izzo's spot for the WWE section has decided that he will quit his full-time job with another media company to come here because he believes in himself and the ability to get clicks for his page. So,
yeah. And the fact we're on a website where potentially 50 million people can see his stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's just one.
That's just one way. Yeah. Yeah. No, but that's the thing too. And it's like, you just need a small percentage of that 50 million and you're there. You've got it.
Oh, that's just one spot.
And he's the only person that's going to be doing WWE for the foreseeable future.
Well, I think once we make this hire that more people will join. Because I mean, I say this all the time. You guys help each other, even though, yes, you are competing, but you guys help each other.
No, we do.
If this guy has a link, then I'm going to do a follow-up story. And then that person gets views based on the link that they had. And
sometimes, like, when I'm writing an article, I try to like put it in a way in paragraphs where I can get more link backs.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard because depending on the subject material, but it's like, I did that article about Brock Purdy yesterday.
Well, I was actually going to say that your Brock Purdy post I will use for my fantasy post, because I think he had something in there where he was like QB7 for the starts that he had.
I was actually thinking about doing like, is he like a viable option, like just an article in of itself.
If you do that, I will also link it, because Brock Purdy is on my OnlyFans list. So I think he's ranked like 25 in fantasy or something. But if he starts, I mean,
if he starts and he's fully healthy with McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel, and he can run. He got a couple rushing touchdowns last season too. And Kittle, yeah.
So that's what I don't think these people understand. The more that we have, the more that links, the more that everybody helps each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with this new hire coming in, he really fucked up. He really fucked up. He really fucked up.
I'll never understand it.
I don't either.
Dude, when
have you even heard of such a thing? I literally tried to get him another job.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's a boss going the extra mile, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever find yourself potentially having potential employment at this website,
he wasn't happy with how much money he was making. I tried to get him another side job, and they didn't hire him. And then he left anyway.
I mean, who's happy with the money they're making in this economy anyway? So, but he's got the opportunity to get more now. That's the thing.
Well, that's the craziest thing that I haven't talked about yet. But the next step is you guys are going to be begging me not to give you a contract because you'll making more this way.
Yeah. Yeah. The contract would be, I get paid a percentage, not a flat fee. That would be the contract.
Or, I mean, a flat fee, but you guys will not want that by the time we get there. So, I don't know. Anything else on the deals or WWE or any of that stuff?
I feel like I had something else to say on the deal. Just for anyone at the company, get your butt into gear, people. Now's the time.
Yeah.
Now is the freaking time.
The craziest part about the new deal, to me, in my opinion, is so they get credit for the views that are viewed on the app, but a sticking point is all of the link backs that people click go directed to our site. Yeah. So the more that you guys do that are viable link backs, you're going to double dip. Basically, you're going to get a view there, and then you're going to get a view on the site. So it's time. Get on.
Yeah.
If you have 1 hour out of your day, you better have the 3 news posted. Like if you're turning in one blog that day, it better be because you have serious hemorrhoids and you're spending time on the toilet and you were typing on the toilet. That's got to be your work ethic.
Yeah.
You know, like if that's what you're doing, it's got to be because you got hemorrhoids. So,
jeez, I better get an article in today.
All right. The other things that I have on my list, unless you have any, do you have any other site stuff?
Other site stuff?
Yeah.
Not really.
Any, I guess we could say this. Any interns from the summer class that you hope stay on? Because that's coming up.
I'm trying to think of who were the summer interns.
I can tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
Because that's coming up. I got to meet with all of them. I think, without spoiling the surprise for the actual episode, I think Logan is the winner for the mentorship video stuff.
Okay.
But other than that, Jackie, the food blogger, you got Isaiah Wardlaw. He's been picking it up.
Yeah.
And then got a couple of graphic people, Ben Jennette, 2 social media people, Alex and Drew, and that's it. That's the only people that survived. So
wow. Ben did the new intro, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, speaking of that, we have new video intro. It didn't play because we're doing the actual recording, but
yeah, but playback, no, when you
yes,
the viewer first click on the video and watch, you will have seen the new intro.
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's fire.
I actually watched it a bunch of times because I don't feel like I smile that often, but he somehow found a lot of
smiling. Yeah, there you go. That's how you know he put in the work.
Yeah.
He watched the videos and found good clips.
Speaking of, that's another thing I wanted to mention. I almost forgot. Ben Jennette was editing all of the Burning Hammer shows. So he left in the middle of the semester while Ben was editing the videos. Like, wouldn't you want to like have him keep working with, like, he created a video intro for them too. Wouldn't you want to keep like at least finish out through the summer? Like, at least Ben's doing all this stuff for you. Like, wouldn't you want to at least finish off through the summer?
How many times have we asked that question though of people that have had podcasts here and then left?
Yeah.
How many times?
Yeah.
I could count on at least 2 occasions, but there's probably more.
Yeah.
Jeez. Which reminds me, we still need to do the in memoriam, like the memorial video.
Oh, well, yeah. I think we got to wait on that. I think when I'm really dressed in bougie,
there you go,
is when we can do that. It's going to be the Viking funeral.
Yeah, when you're out in Vegas and the office is there and everybody's in at one time, then that's when we make the video.
Yeah. They're going to have little boats that burn. Yeah. We'll send them in the river.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to the Hoover Dam and do that.
Yeah.
There we go.
The only other thing I have on here is, well, 2 other things. Anything you want to talk about with the ESPN layoffs? There's so many angles when it comes to this stuff. I just wrote one today about ESPN is begging the NFL and other sports leagues to like buy a stake in the company.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It is very bad. Which is surprising because apparently Shannon Sharp could be joining.
ESPN it would be like just to debate Stephen A. And then that's his only job.
It's a pretty good gig if you ask me. I'm sure he's going to get paid way too much for that gig. And I would happily do that for the money that he's probably going to be making. I think it just shows like how
they're fucked.
Like how in trouble just like main sports media is. What was the major news company or newspaper company that just dropped its entire
New York Times.
New York Times. The freaking New York Times. Do people understand that?
Yeah.
One of the biggest and oldest newspapers in the history of this country.
Worried about how much money he's making here. But the New York Times dropped their sports section.
It's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy.
What was he turning in? Two blogs a week and his author page is over $100?
That's insane.
Right?
Wow. Wow. Oh my.
That's the part, I guess we can talk about the New York Times stuff. That's the part that I don't think people get. Like, those jobs at those newspapers back in the day, they were the best job in the world. You came out with one column. You wrote like one article a week or a month. Like there was this when Sports Illustrated used to drop, like it would be one post that a guy was responsible for.
Like a month. It was like
the only job.
You had an entire month to work on a story. And it was like a 1 or 2 pager. That was it.
And then people are bitching about how like, oh, the layoffs, all this and that. Maybe they don't fucking work that hard.
Maybe just their content sucks.
Maybe their content stinks and they don't work that hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and not only that, I just don't think that they kept up necessarily with the times. There are some people in this industry that are finally keeping up with the times, which is because like something like New York Times, you need a subscription to it.
Crazy.
No subscription from us. All of our stuff is ad revenue. And then once we start getting a bit more of like an actual following, we got a lot of eyes on the site. But once we start getting more and more people to follow, then it's like we can do, but it's extra stuff that like what we would do. And that's where companies like Barstool have succeeded as, where they give you everything that you need for free. They put it up on YouTube or their own website. And then anything extra, they charge you pennies for it. So that way it entices you to buy into it. But it's like, it's like, oh, yeah, sure, I could pay $3 a month to get a little bit of extra content from these guys.
I was actually just thinking about this. So ESPN has all those paywall articles. Like, I think you can only read like maybe 40% of the overall content. Their NFL draft section is Jordan Reed, who used to work for like a draft network. and Matt Miller, who used to work for Bleacher Report. You used to be able to get their stuff for free. And they're not nearly talented enough to where I'm willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, that's ridiculous. You need an ESPN Plus subscription.
Yeah.
Access like the stuff that is like going to have like a bit more in depth and in detail. You don't get that with people like us.
Well, and their content's not good. Like, it'd be one thing if they were the best and you were willing to pay for it. But okay, you snagged the Bleacher Report writer, you snagged the Draft Network writer. Like, I can find those fucking guys off the street. What makes you different?
There's better draft analysts that are doing it for free on Twitter.
Yeah,
just in their spare time.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, during the 1990s, it was just ESPN. They had no competition. Now, random YouTuber is competition, and there's thousands of them.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, man, it's like these companies, they didn't keep up with the times. The few that are, it's someone like...
Who's keeping up with the times?
It's individuals. It's not companies. It's right. Individuals that are keeping up with the times. Like individuals from these companies, like Cowherd started his own podcasting network.
He is much better of a businessman than he is a sports mind.
Yes. And the Volume Sports, it's working. People are tuning in. He's done a great job at getting voices for his podcasting network, and people tune in, especially Draymond Green. That was a genius move by Cowherd to hire Draymond.
He is
to do
a significantly better business mind than he is a sports mind.
Yeah. Hence, like your last two articles about him.
Yeah.
And then I know we also, another guy that we hate on is, not hate on necessarily, maybe a little bit, but Stephen A. Well, but he started his own show and it's doing phenomenally on YouTube. He's going to get, I think he's closing in on 1 million subscribers or like 500,000 subscribers.
I wanted to ask you this question about Stephen A. and I'm curious about your response. I actually think he's helping keep them alive, but at the same time, he's helping kill them. Because if he's the face of your network, you are signing up to be the dumb idiot who argues with a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it gets eyes. Like, it gets eyes. He's keeping them alive. He's getting the viewers. But at the same time, if your face of your network is that, I think it's a sinking ship.
Yeah. But again, like what he's doing on his own is also working. And it's an interesting show to listen to because it's not tied to ESPN in any way. And so he's speaking his mind, he's speaking freely, and he's pulling back the curtain just a little bit enough to where I'm kind of like, okay, I'm kind of interested in this. This is the face of ESPN here that is kind of trashing ESPN sometimes.
Well, that's half of their problem. Everything that they do is watered down. Everything that they do is cookie cutter. Like, as a viewer, I'm just speaking for myself. If I watch something, I want to learn something or be entertained by it. They don't produce anything that's anything like that. Everything ESPN produces. When's the last time you learned something? They had a good point. Everything it's so predictable in what they say.
Yeah. And the only person that's ever really called ESPN on that BS is JJ Redick, but it's because he didn't immediately get into broadcasting. He started his podcast, and his podcast got so popular that he got hired by ESPN. Same thing with Pat McAfee too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I'm being a hater, but I just think if the face of your network is a rambling idiot that's not that smart, you're kind of killing yourself.
Stephen A. brings the entertainment value, but you need to have, if you are a sports network,
yes,
you have to have people on there that know what they're talking about, are smart, and they're going to get their points across, not by yelling and screaming at each other or going for shock value.
Again, if I was in charge of ESPN, I would say, Stephen A., you can stay on, but you're only doing NBA Countdown. First Take's done. Or something that would change like that. Because if that's like the hallmark of your network, I think more and more people are tuning them out. And the same thing was Skip Bayless. Like, I think people have turned on Skip Bayless.
Oh, yeah.
People have really turned on Skip. They haven't been able to find a replacement for Shannon Sharpe. They're taking 2 months off the air.
insane.
That's going to happen to Stephen A. though. People are going to turn on him. It only takes one more of those comments where he says Shohei Ohtani isn't good because he's from Japan, or one more of those comments because
just hating on a European in general, or any foreigner in general, he hates on them.
It's only going to take one more of those comments to where, oh, Dwayne Haskins is more of a runner than a thrower. Like, dude, you look like a real asshole now that he died. Like, or one more of those comments about, oh, well, Luka Doncic isn't that good because he's from Europe. It's only going to take one more of those. Like, people are going to turn on him.
Yeah, but again, I think that he has a decent enough following,
yes.
and his
in the short term, he's helping them. Absolutely.
Yeah, he has enough following, but it's like the second that he is gone, though, I don't know. I think that's going to help and hurt ESPN at the same time too.
Help in the long term.
It'll help in the long term. It's definitely going to hurt them short term.
Yes.
But they save money and they'll lose some viewership, but they might be able to build some of it back. But they have to. But here's the other thing that we're banking on in that case: ESPN has to be smart with who they hire.
They haven't been.
Exactly.
Well, I want to go over the list of people that have been fired, and like, okay, I think the Pat McAfee hire was smart. Do you?
It was very smart. Yeah. He's the most popular NFL show on YouTube. It's absolutely smart.
If I were him, I wouldn't have signed there though.
I wouldn't have either. Which I think maybe I'm curious because in like I remember I think it was his last negotiation with FanDuel for re-upping their deal. He fought harder for like more guarantees for the people on his show, like the producers and everyone else that's kind of chiming in.
They should have
throughout the show. Yeah, so I wonder if ESPN gave them all big raises as part of that deal.
I believe it's $85 million, and he decides on who gets paid from what of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which $85 million is $85 million.
85 million is 85 million. You are correct.
How about the list of people that got fired? Jeff Van Gundy, Jalen Rose, Max Kellerman, Keyshawn Johnson, Suzy Kolber, LaFonso Ellis, Vince Carter, Todd McShay, Steve Young, Matt Hasselbeck, Ashley Brewer, June Lee, David Pollock, Nick Friedel, Jason Fitz. Anybody that stands out? Anybody you want to talk about?
Kind of just like the two that I think that stand out the most to me is Suzy Kolber and Steve Young. Not because of their just like amazing takes on football, but just because how long they've been with the network and kind of how like Steve Young and Suzy Kolber both are like tied to Monday Night Football. Like part of the Monday Night Football experience was Suzy Kolber and Steve Young. And it's been that way, like Suzy Kolber for over 20 years. Steve Young pretty much ever since he retired from football.
Yeah.
So like the other ones like Van Gundy.
I think he was actually the biggest loss. He keeps it real during the broadcast.
He does keep it real during the broadcast. I don't care much for him a lot of times, but he does.
I think Mark Jackson is worse.
Mark Jackson is worse. But I do appreciate Van Gundy though, in a sense that like he calls players on their BS. He calls the league on their BS.
He tells you how he feels, which is
right in the middle of the broadcast, straight to everyone's viewing. And that I did appreciate.
Yeah.
And I do think he's the better of the Van Gundy brothers when it comes to broadcasting.
I think they should have just did a Van Gundy broadcast.
I know I could see him being hired by TNT, although
yeah.
I think the report is he is interested in getting back into coaching now that he's been fired.
I think TNT should do a Van Gundy broadcast. I think that would be the smartest thing they could do.
It probably would be. Which they usually how they do it is they have someone that's the main commentator, then they have someone that is associated with the league in some shape, form, or fashion. But they could do what ESPN did with Mike Breen and then Mark Jackson and Van Gundy, where it's like you have three commentators. So TNT could do that easily.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
The only couple ones that I want to talk about is, first of all, I think Max Kellerman got fired because Stephen A. Smith didn't like him. Would you say that's accurate?
Stephen A. actually talked about that. I listened to his episode of the podcast, and he said that I I'm paraphrasing this, but basically he's like, don't get it mistaken that just because I didn't want to work with or just because I didn't want to work with Max Kellerman doesn't mean I wanted to see him fired.
Whoa. They named him as the replacement for Skip Bayless. If he wasn't doing that, what was he doing?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's tuning in to Max Kellerman's radio show.
That morning show's bad.
Bad. Like, again, if I was running ESPN, I would have told Max Kellerman, you are in charge of boxing. That is it.
Yeah, but
I'm sure they don't want to pay for just boxing. So I don't know.
Yeah. He still does boxing. Does he still do boxing for other networks? That
I guess I think that's what he's the best at.
Yeah, I really don't know anyone else that's all into boxing like he is in the sporting world.
That's great. You want people that are good at special things.
Yeah.
And they didn't use him for that. So
he also used to be a rapper, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah.
I wrote a video on that, or I wrote an article on that many years ago.
It's linked in the firing post.
Yeah, there you go.
The other one I want to talk about is, well, 2, I guess. Maybe 3. Todd McFraud is gone.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. How about Todd McFraud? See you fucking later, man.
Yeah, I think you were the happiest person in the world when that happened.
I was so happy. First of all, he sucks. Everything he says is fucking nonsense. He runs that Scouts Inc. bullshit where everyone else does the work for him. He regurgitates shit that he either hears or somebody else tells him. Mm-hmm. And during the first round of the draft, people can go back and watch it if they want, or fast forward. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. They put him on the set when the Jets picked, took them off the set when the Jets were done. And he didn't say a fucking word the rest of the broadcast.
I guess the writing was on the wall during the draft.
Well, that's what I said.
I wonder if that was like his last draft that he was, I don't know, under contract because they fired him.
But I don't think he knew, because I watched every second of the draft. He was pumping Matt Miller's tires. Is like, I was saying for a long time I wanted him here at ESPN. Well, he's the reason he got fired, you fuckhead. So it was just so crazy watching the first round of the draft, because he was, I think, college roommates with Joe Douglas at Richmond. I don't know if that's how he got his job at ESPN, but I'm guessing maybe it had something to do with it. Just so funny that he was on the set for only the Jets pick. And then they took fucking Will McDonald, who should have went in the 3rd round. Oh, just beautiful.
Jets are going to Jets.
The other 2 I want to talk about, I actually thought David Pollock was pretty good, college football wise.
Yeah.
And then Nick Friedel got fired, was in Chicago, was a Bulls reporter, was asked to move to the Golden State area because the Warriors were doing so well, then was fired for Malika Andrews' sister. Just comical.
Yeah, which I think I mentioned this. I might have mentioned this in
comical
our failed last recording of Cheese. But I think Malika Andrews' contract is coming up soon. And so the idea that her sister gets hired is like hey, like part of a negotiating thing. It's like, we're gonna take care of your family.
I just thought it was so funny. Like, oh, Trey's the bad guy, right? Because I fucking asked a guy that lives in Chicago to move to California and then fired him for a fucking broad sister. Just hilarious. And then the other one I want to talk about is Jason Fitz. Did you ever see that video of Jason Fitz and Field Yates interviewing John Wall? He's just playing cards, smoking weed while he's getting interviewed, and they don't give a fuck. I have. It's just crazy.
I don't think I've seen that video.
Like
this video now.
Like John Wall clearly didn't respect him at all. He was just playing cards. Like there was people at the table. Like he's answering these questions, like looking at his cards, like and they're just asking questions, like just hilarious.
I know what I'm doing when
he was basically like the weirder version of Marty Smith. Like, what the fuck was Jason Fitz doing that you were paying him a salary?
I've asked that question about a lot of people I see in media.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else on ESPN? I only have one more topic.
No, just the end is near.
Oh yeah.
And I'll say this, it is kind of sad because everyone our age, we remember ESPN differently from the early mid 2000s up a little bit more. Like
I'm not that
that.
sad about it.
What?
I'm not that sad about it.
I mean,
I'm sad that I don't get to see like Chris Berman and Stuart Scott and
yeah,
that stuff. I'm sad that's gone from my life, but I'm not sad that they're tanking.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sad about ESPN. I'm sad about the nostalgia factor of people that I grew up watching, and my love for sports grew at a young age,
like even
because of these personalities that I was watching.
Everything they do isn't the same anymore. Like even the home run derby, when Chris Berman did the home run derby, and it was back. We don't get that anymore. It's just Carl Ravitz being a noob, and they don't have any fucking good topics. It's all timed. It's just a bad product. We'll never get some of that stuff again.
About the only thing that I will ever like actively tune in to watch is the Scott Van Pelt show. Now
his show isn't terrible.
I like Scott Van Pelt.
Yeah,
he's good.
But now they're asking him to host Monday Night Football and then do SportsCenter after.
Yeah,
man needs a raise or something.
I'm sure he's probably one of the higher paid guys. He's been there forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. Last topic I had. So Elon Musk tried to ruin free agency for the NFL or for the NHL and NBA. And then Mark Zuckerberg decided that he was going to start his own app. Do you have any takeaways on that? Because I think that's what happened. Like, dude, he really tried to ruin free agency. I was losing my fucking mind. What was it? Rate limit exceeded. Trying to get all the fucking stories for the NHL. It was like, dude, if you're gonna do that, it can't be during the middle of NBA and NHL free agency. Yeah. It just can't. It just can't.
Apparently, the reason for that though was because they're like some sort of contract was up with Google for like hosting all of their data, and they didn't renew the contract with Google, and so screwed everything up, and they hadn't finished like the process of moving everything, so they had to limit the data, like whatever it was, the rate limits, so that way it wouldn't kill the system.
Well, they had some horrible timing on it because it was during the middle of NBA and NHL free agency. I couldn't fucking look at who was getting signed and who was not getting signed. Like,
it was bad.
It's one thing to fuck up your app.
I had to tune into ESPN and watch their free agency show so I could see if anybody was getting.
And it was so bad. It's Richard Jefferson and Kendrick Perkins yelling at each other, not covering anything.
Hey, they got a raise probably. they're still on.
Probably. And that's the saddest part about it is like, I mean, Kendrick Perkins is fine. I don't even mind Kendrick Perkins, but like you have to acknowledge he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like those are the people that are succeeding there. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's personalities now. It's
you
not
rewarded for being a dope.
That's just what ESPN is. Look at the people that they push in front. Look at everyone that's in charge of the NFL sector.
But I don't think you have to be that way to succeed. I think they're a product.
Yeah, I think people are more interested in just getting facts and proper analysis than Kendrick Perkins getting up there and saying like, you know, something stupid like the Houston Rockets are going to make the playoffs. I know
Jokic can't win MVP because he's white.
Or just like, what is something else? Something stupid. I'm drawing a blank. You said a lot.
I remember JJ Redick was very mad at him for that.
Yeah.
But
and JJ Redick's one of like the few good ones. I don't agree with everything that he says, but he at least gives proper analysis.
Yeah.
And I find that like I can listen to someone that I don't necessarily care for if they're giving me good analysis.
Well, that's like you don't have to be a dope to be successful. Like JJ Redick is doing more than fine.
Yeah.
So I haven't used Threads at all. I don't like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it kind of sucks right now.
Yeah, I don't like it. So features. I don't know. You know, I just hope this makes Elon not fuck up Twitter. That's maybe my hope because right now I don't like Threads.
Yeah, it doesn't have the good like discoverability It's like you can only view people that you're following. So it's no different than Instagram, except for the fact that instead of pictures, it's like,
and it's not in order. Like the times are different.
yeah,
It's not good right now. So
yeah, it's not great. It maybe it could be, which I think they got like 100 million people to sign up in like 5 days, which was crazy.
yeah,
But then it's been like declining drastically, the signings, because everyone, I think most people like myself just downloaded it just to see what it was.
yep.
And then I haven't been on it maybe since the second day it's been out.
I haven't either. So I think the hope for me is that this just makes Elon not fuck up, like, because I think there were times I'm like, this dude's actively trying to fuck up.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get in the mind of someone with that much money.
See, that's the craziest shit. I don't know. I just don't think I'll lose it. Like I've been through too much. I've been punched in the face too much. Just money's not going to change me. I just don't think that.
Yeah. Which I don't think some people it does, yeah, obviously, but Elon it probably has.
Yeah.
I don't know what his upbringing was though. I know he came from a white South African family, if you know anything about the history of South Africa.
They had a water shortage.
Well, I was just talking about apartheid.
That's the vast knowledge of my South African history.
I just like apartheid, and it's like you have a small group of white people that controlled everything.
Yeah. So
Nelson Mandela, does he ring a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was South Africa.
Real quickly, we will be getting our app eventually. I'm not sure when.
I'm excited for that.
But we will be getting our own app eventually. The new product will be on there when that drops. So
just that's going to be great.
Side note on that. Jackson Law, you have anything else?
Get your butts into gear, everybody.
That can't be. I mean, maybe we can spend 5 minutes on this. With fall coming up, man, these guys got to be ready. They got to be chopping at that bit.
It's supposed to be our worst month.
Mm-hmm.
Summer is supposed to be our worst time because the only sports going on is baseball, and it's just free agency talk and training camp stuff for the NBA and the NFL. Those are the other two things. These are our worst months. In these past 2 months, we have blown every record that we have previously held for views out of the water. And that's that's an understatement for what we've done.
Thank you, ESPN.
Thank you, ESPN. Not sorry to see you go, but thank you. But no, football has always been fall from really like September through December has always been January.
People need to blog on Sundays.
Yes. Prediction blogs, reaction blogs, and then news.
Guy gets hurt, needs to get done right away.
Yep.
So, all right. Let's see if anything else. Anything else? Let's get good.
Yeah. Oh, I guess if you just wanted to say something on this real quickly, the running backs met on a Zoom call yesterday, Saturday. Do you think they would boycott? Do you think like all the running backs, even the ones that are paid, do you think they sit out?
No.
What do you think they do?
I tried to. I don't know. You came out with your video and I liked it. I actually think they're being overpaid for what they're being paid now. Like what the Giants were offering Saquon Barkley is $6 million too much, and that would be cutting it in half of what they were offering.
Yeah.
So I think they're getting paid or getting offered more than enough already. Centers should be making more than them, and they're not, which is crazy to me. And the thing that I wanted to stress in that post was Tyler Goodson is a running back out of Iowa, got 0 carries for the Packers last year. He's not going to get any carries because A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones are ahead of him on the depth chart. He's making nothing. Like eventually Aaron Jones is going to go, and then they have their replacement. There are so many good running backs. 26 running backs got drafted this year, I think. 26. Yep. And that's going to happen every year. I mean, at some point, there's just too many of them.
And why would you commit to one guy? Like, let's say Saquon Barkley, $12 million.
No.
You could get away with.
If he wanted $12 million, he would have signed because the Giants offered him $12 million.
Yeah.
Which is too much already.
Yeah, and so I think he wants what McCaffrey's making. McCaffrey's
16,
like
I think,
16.
right? You want
Yeah, yeah, maybe he wants more than that,
Nope.
which that
Not
would be
doing
insane.
that.
If I'm a team, if I'm organizing a team, why would I spend 12 million for one running back that's had some injuries in the past
Nope.
when I could have 4 or 5 running backs that as a committee can get the job done if you do a good job at drafting for less than 8 million?
Yeah. Oh, we saw that Super Bowl winning list, Isaiah Pacheco, 7th round pick. And the funniest thing about the running backs that I can't get over is your argument can't be, well, we got to get paid because we're going to miss time. Like, it doesn't happen in any business. Could you imagine going to your boss and be like, well, I'm going to miss time. Can you pay me more? Like, okay, Zeke Elliott didn't work out. Le'Veon Bell didn't work out. You guys are the fucking problem. So,
if anything, they should be mad at their quarterbacks because they're the ones that are demanding.
If anything, they should
money.
thank their lucky stars that they pick up fantasy points or they'd paid less. If fans didn't care about them, they'd get paid less.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with you. Like
between them and the centers. Centers aren't racking up fantasy points.
But centers are important, though, because without a good offensive line, running backs aren't scoring. They're not doing anything.
Why are centers making less?
No, I agree with you. I think outside of your quarterback, they skill positions.
The running backs say, "Oh, well, we take so much punishment." Well, the center gets hit on every fucking snap.
No, I've said this before. I said a good offensive line covers a multitude of sins.
Yeah.
You may not have the best quarterback or best running back, but if you have the number 1 rated offensive line, you're going to give him time to throw. You're going to give your playmakers time to get open, and you're going to get your running back out in space.
The Eagles. We saw it in that Super Bowl with the Chiefs and the Bucks. They lost because their offensive line crumbled.
Yeah, and they had the best quarterback in the league, and he was running for his life back there.
And then, they add Creed Humphrey. They get Orlando Brown, win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
7th round rookie running back. So I think these running backs are fucking delusional. I really do.
I am curious to see what is going to happen, though. That is something we'll have to pay close attention to.
And to me, they're getting paid. Like, in my opinion, they're getting paid.
They're getting millions.
Nick Chubb is under contract and happy. That motherfucker just squatted like 800 pounds the other day in the same draft class as Barkley. He's under contract. Like, shut your fucking mouth, Barkley. I don't want to hear it from you.
If you can't survive off of 12 million, what's wrong?
I don't know.
Like, come on, man.
I don't hear.
You got people like me that are surviving on less than what you make in a game.
I don't hear Nick Chubb bitching about what's going on, and he's better than all of you.
He's like isn't it in Madden? Which I know Madden, whatever, but he's like number 1, number 2 rated running back.
So I just did a fantasy video on this. I said Nick Chubb was better than Saquon Barkley in 2018, and Madden finally got it right 5 years later. No, I don't fucking think anybody said that 5 years ago.
When was Nick Chubb selected?
The same year as Barkley.
No, like position, like pick wise.
Oh, like pick 34.
Oh, there you go. 2nd round.
Yeah.
Compared to the number 3 overall pick.
2.
Oh, 2. Yeah, you're right.
Which is the other craziest part. That fucker's been paid because he got picked so high.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're a top 5 pick, you're making fucking bread.
Imagine if this was like 2008 and he was the number 2 overall pick.
Bijan Robinson's one of the highest paid running backs this year.
I know. I looked at his contract. It's insane. I'm pretty sure it showed up on the list. And while I was making the video, I was like, wait a minute. What? Yeah. He's making over 10 million and he's a rookie.
Barkley was the 2nd pick in the draft. Why are you bitching about it? You've been paid before any of the other guys have been paid. You've been paid when 99% of the position hasn't. And he's bitching? No.
Can't make people happy.
Nah. All right, I think we're good.
I think we're good too, yeah.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are monetized on YouTube, so all those things help. Follow those gaming channels and podcast channels too. Follow Jackson Law. I think it's J-Law 1995.
J-Law 1995.
Follow him. Follow myself, Trey Daubert. Check out the website, Vendetta Sports Media, and go download that Newsbreak app because, I mean, it's a good app. You can get the weather, you get local news, you can get all of it on there, and you can get our Vendetta content. So download the Newsbreak app. Follow our profile on there. Other than that,
you can see that that's our profile right there. 54,000 views right now.
What, 48 hours?
A little over 48 hours.
Okay.
It's like probably like 50 hours or so.
Yeah.
Since we joined.
Sweet. Okay.
So.
All right. That's some cheese. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.